Today's Morning First Alert Weather Show is brought to you by Sam Bernstein Law.
Alrighty, good Monday morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro here with your First Alert morning weather show. We are talking some forecast details here for the week. As we go throughout the week here, really the big story that you've likely heard some chat about already as well is the fact that it is relatively going to be a little bit of a milder week. So we are going to be tracking temps that'll be above freezing for our high temps nearly every day this week. Going into the weekend though, eventually a cool down is on the way. So we are eventually going to be seeing some cooler weather returning to mid-Michigan. Kind of feels like it's going to be one of those weeks like we've seen in some previous Januaries where we warm up just briefly before we cool down again even more. Now I do want to show you some of those temperatures out there right now, and this has definitely been helping out with the road conditions from the morning too. So we had that snow that moved through last night, pretty much panned out as we were expecting for that snowfall too. So higher totals up north, lower totals to the south. That was very largely reflected in the drive times and the road conditions that we had, and even the school closings that we had earlier this morning as well. So that is one thing to bear in mind for this morning, is that we still have school closings for today that are mainly into our northern counties. We did have a couple of delays into some of our thumb school districts as well, but most of the school closings today were farther up north. And I'll even show you this here too. I-75, this is in Birch Run, right at exit 136. Even though we have some damp pavement there, we are back to just pavement again. So the snow coverage that was on the road, that has cleared off. And that actually cleared off several hours ago. So we did see a lot of main roadways improving very quickly. And that was because of these temperatures and the road salt. So in these temps, in the upper 20s, road salt is very effective. So that did help to really just improve these conditions pretty quickly here throughout the morning. But as we go forward through the week, even though we do have some of those milder temperatures, it still won't be completely dry for the rest of this week, despite us having at least dry weather for the rest of today. We're still tracking some rain for tomorrow. But first, for today's forecast, again, we are going to be tracking some dry weather for the remainder of the daytime. So I'll take you back over here to the shoveling forecast. These conditions for the rest of today, actually very favorable for that snow cleanup. We'll see temps above freezing up to about 35 or 36 for the high this afternoon. We are tracking a mostly cloudy sky for the entirety of today as well, but dry weather, and our wind will be staying pretty light. Southwesterly wind just at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we aren't tracking really too much notable weather for the remainder of today. Again, these conditions will be pretty tame, so that does make that snow cleanup a bit easier. And those high temps, again, officially up to about 35 to 36. So normally at this time of year, we would have highs closer to 30 degrees. That's the average. And then as we go throughout the rest of the week, those average highs still right around the 29 to 30 degree mark. But statistically, and interestingly here, the second half of January, essentially the last 2 weeks of January, is statistically our coldest time of year here in mid-Michigan. So that's where we see those normal highs bottoming out in the upper 20s. Once we get past the end of this month, at least statistically, that's where that average high starts to go back up again. Now, of course, it takes some time for those averages to make their way back to the 40s and then the 50s, but if you're just strictly looking at the numbers and those averages, that's how that plays out here for the month of January. So statistically, we're pretty much into about the coldest time of the year. Now, in the 7-day forecast, again, we have been talking about that chance of above freezing and certainly above average temperatures for early January. Take a look at that 7 days. So we have 36 very similar temps for tomorrow. We have 38 on Wednesday. Then we could even see some 40s coming in on Thursday and Friday. So those 2 days will likely be the warmest of this week. And then going into the weekend, we will see those temperatures starting to fall. By Sunday, only a high of 29. Saturday, we'll have to see how things end up evolving here going through the week. And I know the forecast overall Does look a little bit busy there towards the end of the week. We have the rain on Friday and then rain turning to snow on Saturday. We may end up having on Saturday one of those days where temperatures start off warm in the morning and then fall throughout the remainder of the day. So we'll have to see how those numbers and how that system ends up evolving for Saturday, but that could be the case there. In general, though, the key takeaway for the weekend is that we are going to have some colder temperatures returning by then, definitely colder than the temps that we're expecting here right as we go through this week. But we are tracking, again, some of that rain for tomorrow, so we will take just a quick break here real quick, and when we come back from the break, we'll talk some more details on tomorrow's rain. Alrighty, welcome back from that break. So as we go throughout the rest of today, we're still expecting dry weather. And then as we go into tomorrow, we do have some rain in the forecast. We'll go ahead and get right into that rain for tomorrow. We are expecting about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain, and then we could see a little bit of brief freezing drizzle as well. Certainly, again, want to stress brief with that freezing drizzle chance for tomorrow. It's likely to just sort of be at the onset of the rain. Temps will only fall down to about 32 degrees for tonight, so we actually have a pretty decent point that we're jumping off from with those temps into tomorrow morning, and then eventually highs up to about 36 degrees. So almost the entire day tomorrow is expected to be above freezing. As far as that freezing drizzle chance is concerned, it's more so going to be into our northern areas, especially some of those spots where the elevation is just slightly higher. We're talking some places like West Branch or around Houghton Lake or Rose City, kind of getting up into the Ogama Hills region. So that's where you could see just a little bit of freezing drizzle at the onset of tomorrow's rain, but largely it is just going to be rainfall for tomorrow, so kind of ironic, especially after the snow that we just had last night. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the first alert hour by hour. So there we are, even in the middle of tonight. This is about 2 to 3 o'clock tonight. I do think that this chance for tomorrow, or at least early tomorrow, pretty much into tonight, I think it is a bit of a lower chance, and notice just how narrow that band of rainfall could be as well. Then as we fast forward towards the late morning, that's at about 9, even approaching 10 in the morning tomorrow, we still have a little bit of that freezing drizzle chance, again, mainly up north, but the rain will be taking over pretty quickly from there. So by noon especially, it'll just be all rain across our area. And then once we go into the afternoon, the rainfall starts to pivot away. That rain should mostly be out of here by about 5 or 6 in the evening. There's one thing, though, that I do want to point out here for tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a quick edit to the First Alert Hour by Hour live here on the First Alert Weather Show. So I'm taking this to a different run of the First Alert Hour by Hour that we have, and I do want to just play out how this looks for you. Now, I will say with what I'm about to show you here in the hour by hour, more of an outlier chance, something that's more recently developed in the hour by hour, so we'll have to see exactly how this ends up playing out with some of our other data as well. So I just want to stress again that this is something that I don't think could totally happen, but it's certainly not impossible, and it's because some of those temperatures tomorrow are going to be still hovering right near freezing, if not just above up north. But notice how the hour by hour does show the rain and then some of that freezing drizzle north, but then notice this here, how as we go towards noon tomorrow, the hour by hour tries to show some snowfall taking over, especially up north. and then that will start to pivot through our area as we go into the afternoon. That right there is indicating a colder solution in the model. Still, the timing of all this does play out about the same though. By about 5 or 6 o'clock, any sort of rain or snow would be out of here. But again, that's indicating a colder solution in the model. I don't think it's something that we can fully bite on just yet in the forecast because it is an outlier compared to what we've seen with all of our other data. So I would still largely expect rain tomorrow. No doubt a cold rain with temps only into the mid-30s, but it should just largely be rainfall with the system that moves through for tomorrow, because even aloft, or slightly aloft at least, we still have some warmer air that's helping us out to just bring rain rather than snow. So that is something we'll, of course, be watching very closely. And First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips will have another First Alert weather show coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. If there are any further updates with that, she'll have those right here on the same live stream at 2 o'clock. But again, for now, I would still largely just count on seeing rain for your Tuesday. A couple of comments here too that I just want to read here real quick from Jennifer. What about tomorrow? We have an appointment. Again, for tomorrow, I think you should be all right overall. Roads are going to be wet, especially during the late morning and the afternoon. But at this juncture right now, I would still expect just rainfall, and we're going to keep rain in the forecast too. So I wouldn't expect major holdups on the roads, largely just some wet roadways. Definitely better than the roads were earlier this morning with the snow. And hello to Craig and hello to Penny as well. But again, meteorologist Diane Phillips, she'll have another live stream on all of these same channels coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And if there are any more updates for the rain tomorrow, she will have some updates in that live stream as well. But for right now, still expecting dry weather for the rest of today. And then we have some of that rain that moves in, especially late tomorrow morning after about 9 or 10 o'clock. So pretty much this time tomorrow morning, we start to see some more of that rain moving into our area. Well, until then, we hope you have a great remainder of your Monday morning, and be sure to tune in to First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips later on today at 2 o'clock.